Good morning, everyone. My name is Rohit Chawla from Daily Solutions. I would like to thank everyone, those who have joined the session for joining this particular session on SME Discuss series of event. Basically, this platform specially designed for the professionals to discuss about the practical issues what we face in our day-to-day working, day-to-day transactions, right? So in our today's session, we will try to deep dive into the topic, generally asked topic, basically internal audit with the help of our expert panelists, CA Nojosing and CA Archana ma'am, right? About our eminent experts, panelist, CA Navjot Singh, who is also founder of Text to Business Advisors and Discuss. Navjot ji is associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and having more than 5 years of experience in appeals, tax restructuring, tax advisory, and consulting pertaining to indirect taxes. He is also a specialist in the field of refund in tax regimes, has amassed abundant expertise over the years in DGFT and custom-related issues such as representation of exporters and importers with the Office of DGFT and DRI. About our second expert, CA Asna ma'am, who is having the more than 13 year of cross-functional experience in accounts, finance, and indirect taxation. He is founder of Archana Jain and Company, having vast experience in handling internal audits, forensic audit, GST audit, AEO certification audits, and other DGFT matters. Now, I would like to start our session. I would like to ask from our eminent speakers. नॉर्मली सर और मैम, जब हम नॉर्मली किसी कस्टमर से मिलते हैं तो बहुत बार एक क्वेश्चन राइज होता है, एक क्वेश्चन वर्ड पूछा जाता है इंटरनल ऑडिट. हमारे कस्टमर से भी पूछा जाता है, हमारे जीएसटी भी हमसे अक्सर पूछते हैं इंटरनल ऑडिट के बारे में. वी जस्ट वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट एक्चुअली इंटरनल ऑडिट इज.
Good morning. Good morning to all the participants. Thank you so much, the organizers, for giving us this platform and so that we are able to share our knowledge on the topic assigned to us for the day. A very valid question, sir. What exactly internal audit means? So internal audit is a very vastly defined wording, I should say, with respect to audit, because it is not a specific audit for only books of accounts or some kind of specific audit for a particular field. It is basically a internal audit is basically for a holistic approach to your internal controls, the way you are managing the compliances of the business, the way your books are being kept. So basically it is an embedded kind of thing which takes care of all the aspects of the business, and not just your books of accounts, but also your internal controls, your compliance part, your due diligence part, your basic security things that has to be implemented at various checkpoints of your business. Let it be a purchase, let it be sales, let it be the gate pass register or your entry register, your exit register, the way your manpower is being managed in your organization, the way your flow of the goods, in case it is obviously a manufacturing unit, so the way the flow of your goods has been taken care of, how your um, uh, finished product is being placed, how the WIP is being taken care of, in case of any testing kind of thing. So how all these documents are being managed. So internal audit is basically a complete health checkup of your business with respect to all the major ingredients that are going to affect your business, your decision making power, your other environment that are related to business. So this is my way of thinking with respect to internal audit. I'll ask Navjot to put in his view and any addition in this regard. Thank you.
Very well put through the basic definition of internal audit, and with this I would like to thank Tally team to provide us the opportunity to talk about something which is, I would say, less less aware of. Like, people are very less aware of internal audit, and they put they give very less importance. होता क्या है कि internal audit कंपलसरी नहीं है मोस्ट ऑफ द बिजनेसमैन के लिए. इंटरनल ऑडिट इज समथिंग जो कि अपने बिजनेस को जानने के लिए एक तरीका है कि आपका बिजनेस इंटरनल कंट्रोल के पर्सपेक्टिव से, आपकी कॉर्पोरेट प्रैक्टिस, आपके प्रोसेस, आपके मेथड्स, आप किस तरह से अपना बिजनेस करते हैं. बेसिकली एवरी प्रोसेस विच इज रिलेटेड टू योर बिजनेस and you are seeing that every process or compliance is being done or not. Second important function of internal audit is whatsoever compliance which is applicable on your business, चाहे वो GST perspective से हो, चाहे वो income tax perspective से हो, चाहे वो कंपनी एक्ट पर्सपेक्टिव से हो, या कोई भी XYZ कोई एक्ट आप पे एप्लीकेबल है, जैसे आप मेडिकल बिजनेस में तो हो सकता है ड्रग्स एक्ट आप पे एप्लीकेबल हो, उसकी कोई कंप्लायंस हो. इफ यू आर MSME देन यू नीड टू फाइल फ्यू रिटर्न्स, आपको कुछ बेनिफिट्स हैं जो गवर्नमेंट ग्रांट करती है. So everything which is related to the compliance part from a legal perspective, I'm saying, from internal audit you can see that all the compliances are being done or not. Third and very important part, which plays, I would say, a significant part, but very few people, or I would say very few businesses are left with this thing, because the thing is, internal audit is directly connected with the accounts. Now, what do we mean by accounts? Are you preparing accounts in Excel? You're preparing accounts in Tally or any XYZ, I would say, accounting software. But remember that it starts from accounts only. So legal, from the legal perspective, from the legal requirement perspective, are you maintaining the accounts correctly? Are your accounts and records are having proper information which should be there from a legal perspective and from a business perspective as well? Suppose you are in a construction business, your accounting may be different. You are a professional providing services, then your accounting will be different. So is your accounting software or the mechanism through which you are doing the accounting is correct or not? Internal audit is a means to check that whether my accounting and records are being prepared nicely or not. So this is what internal audit means in a holistic approach, that this is something checking our own business.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for taking us through the so nicely, sir. अनदर सर एक क्वेश्चन बड़ा एक राइज होता है कि आपने बताया सर जैसे अकाउंट्स के लिए, तो बेसिक अगर पर्पस की बात करें, व्हाट इज द एक्चुअल पर्पस ऑफ इंटरनल ऑडिट?
पर्पस वुड बी, जितने भी मेरे ऑपरेशनल स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं उनकी मैं इफेक्टिवनेस चेक कर रहा हूँ. बेसिक सी, एवरीवन इज डूइंग बिजनेस इन हिज वे. हमें अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स पता नहीं लगती हैं, लाइक व्हाटसएवर प्रॉब्लम्स और प्रोसेस, अगर उसमें कुछ इनइफेक्टिवनेस है, जैसे मैम हैव नाइसली पुट दैट, वेयर माय स्टॉक इज, हाउ आई एम पुटिंग, गोइंग थ्रू माय इन्वेंटरी ऑडिट, मैं अपनी इन्वेंटरी किस तरह से मैनेज कर रहा हूँ, मैं स्टॉक अपना रॉ मटेरियल किस तरह से मैनेज कर रहा हूँ, व्हेन आई एम बाइंग इट, how I'm selling it, how I'm storing it, where is my godown, where is warehouse. So every that supply chain is needed to be seen very minutely, because it plays a very significant role from a GST perspective as well. Suppose you are buying only and you're not checking the flow of your sales, so you'll just end up keeping that goods in your store. So that standard of supply chain is आपका इफेक्टिव है या नहीं है, ये मुझे इससे पता लगेगा इंटरनल ऑडिट से. और ये दैट इज ओनली वन पार्ट ऑफ इंटरनल ऑडिट. अनदर पार्ट कैन बी, देयर कैन बी सम रूल्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस कि आपको आपकी मैन पावर कितनी रखनी है. सपोज आप अपना बिजनेस का एनालिसिस करते हैं और आप देखते हैं कि यू एंड अप हैविंग 10 unskilled labor, there are 10 skilled labor. So is that manpower is aligned? Are you having proper manpower to do certain things like placing orders, accepting deliveries, or making payments? Your accounts receivable, account payable are well managed or not? And third part is your internal operational standards are there or not, like internal control is there. Suppose you have given a responsibility of keeping for managing accounts to someone, is he playing the right role? Suppose there is an operational head who sees that how goods are being purchased, how goods are being sold, so that person is playing the role which is assigned to him nicely or not? Like, are there any ineffectiveness, or maybe there are any sort of loopholes to the responsibilities given to employees? Basically, I'm talking from employees perspective as well, I'm talking from your operation perspective as well. So both the things are important when we see the purpose. So Archana ji, you would also agree to me in this?
Totally agree to you, because whole of my performance, my working capital requirement, my I mean the way I have to place my order, the minimum quantity, this is one part of my business which is going to affect my business. And in case when I have a strong internal audit or a strong internal control, then I am able to control the leakages, I'm able to control the wastage, I'm able to control even the additional fund that I may be requiring in my business and I was paying interest, and that was an additional burden to my company. But still, with an effective internal control, I will be able to cope up with all these challenges and all these kind of leakages or all these kind of additional or indirect costing to my business. So that's why I'm saying that internal audit is very, very important part for any business. Though very well said by Navjot sir also that it is not a compulsory thing. But I think, as we say, prevention is always better than cure. So we will always suggest that yes, you should have and you should go for some kind of internal controls, internal audits, depending upon the size, the way you are working and the type of organization you are into. So accordingly, you can plan your internal audits.
Right, ma'am. Right, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am. जैसे हमने बताया कि how we can increase the effectiveness with the purpose with by performing the internal audit. I just want to deep dive into this particular thing. कि what more issue we can identify from this process of internal audit?
Rohit ji, in that, I would like to start with an example. Suppose if the finance role is being given or accounts role is being given to someone,
Right.
and through some audit, or I would say, if like the owner is checking some accounts maybe on his own, and he finds that there is sort of embezzlement. ये कुछ funds को इधर उधर कर रहा है कोई. वो
Right.
accounts का बंदा भी हो सकता है, जो बैंक handle कर रहा है वो भी हो सकता है. Maybe if company is good, so he might be having a whole staff, a whole team of finance. So identifying the role who is responsible for embezzlement can be identified only through internal audit. This is just one example.
Right.
अब second क्या होता है, कई बार क्या होता है कि vendor management करता है जो employee, तो वो हो सकता है कि कुछ एक due advantage किसी को दे रहा हो, किसी ऐसे vendor को जिससे शायद उसको commission मिलता हो internally, or maybe he's getting something from that vendor, and he's giving preference to that particular vendor over other low cost suppliers basically. So that sort of things, these kind of inefficiencies we can see. And in practical experience, if we see that there is no standard or technique which we can apply. See, suppose if I am doing internal audit, there can be few checks which only I am checking, maybe not any other accountant is checking. Maybe there are few things which other accountants might be doing, I'm not doing. So we will have to see two things. There are few standards internal on internal audit, but those are like I think internally acceptable. But in India, there is no mandate on this. Like you have to follow this. Like in statutory audit, when we do statutory audit, there are standards of audit by Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, which auditor have to follow. But something sort of that is not in India as of now, or maybe the awareness is not that much. So that also plays a significant role, that what sort of techniques you are applying while performing the internal audit. And through that mechanism, only you can identify the inefficiencies. And if you are not able to identify the inefficiency, you will not be able to do the or take the corrective steps, because internal audit is a function by company. It's not an independent thing that someone else will come and see your accounts and all. Maybe company may hire a professional to do the internal audit, which mostly happen obviously, because certainly that gives a, I would say, independence to the whole activity of internal audit. But क्या मेरी कॉस्ट आ रही है, क्या मेरे इनएफिशिएंसीज आ रही हैं फंड्स को लेकर, अकाउंट्स को लेकर, ऑपरेशंस को लेकर, वो मैं अगर आइडेंटिफाई कर पा रहा हूं अपने प्रॉपर चेक्स से, प्रॉपर मैकेनिज्म से, प्रॉपर टेक्निक से, देन ओनली वी विल गेट द रिजल्ट. अदरवाइज हम आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर पाएंगे इश्यूज को. तो सिर्फ इसको नाम से नहीं हमें रखना है कि हाँ भी मैंने अपनी कंपनी की इंटरनल ऑडिट करवा ली है, बट इट विल बी बेनिफिशियल ओनली व्हेन देयर आर मोर पॉइंट्स. अब ऑडिटर बहुत ज्यादा मतलब आपको बता रहा है कि हाँ भी आपको ये भी चेंज करने की जरूरत है, आपको ये भी चेंज करने की जरूरत है, मतलब जितनी ज्यादा ऑब्जर्वेशंस आएंगी, मोर ऑब्जर्वेशंस विल बी देयर, मोर बेनिफिशियल इट विल बी फॉर द कंपनी. Archana ji would explain this from her personal experience also, since she is into this internal audit era like for more than 10 years.
Thank you, Navjot. Yes, I'll just quote one example. We were doing an internal audit for an organization, and that was a big manufacturing unit. So during the internal audit only we came to understand that yes, there are some things that need kind attention of the management, because the way manpower was handled, the way the goods were handled, that means the way the purchase was handled, was not in an efficient manner. The record of the date and time on the gate and the record from the sale invoices or from the purchase invoices were not being mapped. That means मेरे मेरे गेट पे दिखा रहा है कि ये ट्रक नंबर 2 तारीख को आया, जबकि मेरी किताबों में इनवॉइस और उसका रिसीप्ट जो है वो 1 तारीख है. So that means there is a gap. And so these things when highlighted to the management, so it came out that yes, there was a weak control on the gate itself. So that means there was a leakage from the side, both the side, inward side as well as the outward side. Secondly, same goes with the manpower also. They were remitting the salaries to the person who had already punched out time. But his salary, because it is not just important for the amount of funds that you are making out of that company. Something has happened to the person who was on the road at that time, and some mishappening happened, or something wrong has happened, or something wrong has been committed by that person. So this will give a wrong or a different kind of perception that the person was in your somewhere else at that point of time on the real time basis. So these are not just the financial aspect related issues also, but they may end up the company in a bigger soup. So these are
Exactly.
the things that are coming up when we are conducting internal audits, which will not be possible during any other tax audit or GST audit or any other kind of audits. And the example for which I'm quoting, again, that company was not required to conduct the internal audit. It was just that management felt like, okay, let's have a complete health checkup of our company.
Right, ma'am.
Right.
Right. As you said, ma'am, there is no mandate. There is no mandate for any company to perform any internal audit. But still, by performing this, they can increase the effectiveness of the company and manpower also. There is any suggestion that how frequently a company should follow the audit, this internal audit?
See, as per law, as I said, as it is not mandatory for most of the companies, but still there are certain cases where it has been mandatory requirement as per the Companies Act 2013 that they should be conducting the internal audit. So as far as frequency is concerned, so again, it is a decision of the management that they can get it annual basis, they can get it done monthly basis, or they can get it done quarterly basis. But yes, they have to maintain the frequency with respect to the requirement of their business, with respect to the volume of the transaction they are undergoing in their business, and with respect to the nature of the business. But wherever there is a compulsory requirement, so I think there they should be minimum conducting the quarterly timeline with respect to the internal audits. And because there may be different type of assessment or analysis or analyzing techniques that an internal auditor may be appointing during the time he will be performing the internal audit. So when the frequency is being fixed, so he knows at what time he has to check what. Let's say some industries into seasonal products. So he knows during that season when he is conducting the internal audit, so more emphasis has to be given on the purchase or the sale side because that being a seasonal product. So similarly, these kind of parameters with respect to frequency also help the internal auditor to plan his internal audit, to plan his way of conducting the internal audit, the type of tools or the type of questionnaire that he will be preparing for a particular period for which he is going to conduct the internal audit. So this is my humble submission. Anything from
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल ये सही है. और आइडियली जो हम एडवाइस करते हैं वो यही होता है कि जो फ्रीक्वेंसी है इट शुड नॉट बी मोर देन क्वार्टर. दैट इट मींस दैट 4 times a year यू हैव टू गेट इट डन कि भी आपका क्वार्टर में क्या परफॉर्मेंस रही, क्या ऑब्जर्वेशंस हैं बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स के, मैनेजमेंट स्टाफ के, या हर तरह के जैसा एस्पेक्ट है. जैसे मैम ने गेट वाला जो एग्जांपल दिया था, दैट इज आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज दो चीजें जो बेस होती हैं आपकी कंपनी की वो यही है, आपका प्रोडक्ट और दूसरा आपके अकाउंट्स. अगर ये दोनों ही आपके अगर मैनेज नहीं है तो आपको पता नहीं लगेगा आपका बिजनेस जा किधर रहा है. दो मे बी यू आर गुड इन रेवेन्यू एंड एवरीथिंग, बट आप वो ग्रोथ नहीं अचीव कर पाएंगे जो शायद एक अच्छी कंपनी आज के टाइम में कुछ अच्छी कंपनीज कर रही हैं. तो उसके उसके रीजंस भी यही हैं that they have been fully complied with the compliances. अगर वो नहीं भी थे तो शायद कुछ ऐसे मैकेनिज्म जो इंटरनल ऑडिट से आए हैं या स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट में भी फ्रॉम ऑडिट पर्सपेक्टिव ऑडिटर ने उनको एडवाइस किया होगा कि आप अपनी प्रोसेस को इस तरह से चेंज करिए. तो यही जो क्रक्स यही है कि इंटरनल ऑडिट से कि बिजनेसमैन को पता है बिजनेस कैसे करना है, बट ही मे नॉट बी नोइंग करेक्ट प्रोसेस एंड करेक्ट मैकेनिज्म टू डू इट. सो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम बोल रहे हैं कि उसको बिजनेस करना हम सिखाएंगे. दैट्स नॉट द थिंग. इट्स समथिंग व्हिच वी विल बी असिस्टिंग हिम to do the correct process which are aligned with the legal compliance as well. So legal plus correct correction and efficient efficiency. So three things will be added to his business. So that's what I would say. That's why I'm using the word holistic. कि हमें internal audit का जो role है ना वो बड़ा as compared to other audits when we talk about like statutory या tax audit या GST के audit. Internal audit का सबसे important role है. ये पहला स्टेप है जहां से स्टार्टिंग होती है. उसके बाद other audits comes in. If you are very much efficient in internal audit na, then there are very less chances that there will be any discrepancy while performing any other audit. आज के टाइम में अगर आप देखेंगे in GST, many tax officer comes to your business premise, so they see everything. They require the data on spot. So if your accounts are not managed properly, if your process is having some lacunas, so you will have to face hefty penalties, I would say, and nothing can be done. You can go to appeals and everything later on, but on the spot, maybe you may face some issues, and that only because of you were not following certain principles, certain procedures which you were required to follow, and you were never informed by anyone. So it is the responsibility of internal auditor only to perform all these sort of things and get things aligned with the legal practices.
Right, sir. Thanks, sir. Thanks, ma'am. We have discussed about the internal audit कि ये हमारी कंपनी की ग्रोथ के लिए कैसे हेल्पफुल हो सकती है हमारे, राइट. Now we just want to hear something about the tax audit part. जैसे भी हमने अभी बात की टैक्स ऑडिट की, सर उसके बारे में थोड़ा जानना चाहेंगे कि वो किस तरह, वो उसका रोल क्या रहता है सर इसके अंदर.
See, if we see the tax audit, अब tax audit का नाम ही suggest करता है that it is something mandatory as per tax laws. And when we see tax laws, we say Income Tax Act 1961, which mandates certain sort of companies, certain sort of business or professionals to conduct their tax reports, to submit their tax audit report. अब इससे होगा क्या? Now you will say that internal audit is already being done, statutory auditor is also there. So what is the purpose of tax audit? Now the thing is, tax laws provide certain sort of provisions related to deductions. For example, like there is a different mechanism to calculate depreciation in the income tax laws, and various other sort of compliances are also there, like treatment of subsidy, treatment of any sort of capital gain. So everything which is contained in the income tax. So tax audit will be conducted from that perspective, that whether the compliances of income tax are being followed or not. And if there are any observation or discrepancy, so government have provided certain formats जिसमें कि tax auditor अपनी report देगा, he will communicate the discrepancy that these sort of discrepancies are there. It's kind of a alignment of books of accounts and Income Tax Act.
राइट सर. जैसे अभी आपने सर बात की इसके बारे में, टैक्स ऑडिट के बारे में, तो जनरली सर एक बड़ी क्वेरी आती है रिगार्डिंग फॉर्म 3CA एंड 3CD. आप प्लीज इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन करेंगे, इसको हम कैसे ले सकते हैं, इसको कैसे हम एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं अच्छे से सर.
जैसा मतलब आई जस्ट एक्सप्लेन दैट अब जो भी ऑब्जर्वेशंस आएंगे, जो भी डिस्क्रिपेंसी होंगी फ्रॉम टैक्स ऑडिट, सो देयर इज अ सर्टेन फॉर्मेट गिवन बाय द गवर्नमेंट. जैसे मान लीजिए हम अगर 3CA 3CD की बात करते हैं, देयर आर many particulars in that related to stock, related to receipt, like what sort of deductions have been claimed, are they being आपकी बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट में क्या ट्रीटमेंट है, कोई मतलब हर तरह की चीज. आई थिंक दे हैव इंक्लूडेड ऑलमोस्ट एवरीथिंग इन दीज फॉर्म्स. So these forms will be filed along with your income tax return on the income tax portal, which is not working these days very nicely. So yes, these form 3CA and 3CD will be containing those necessary particulars in which all the information will be filed, and everything is electronic. Nothing, no form in income tax is being filed manually. Nothing. I think Archana ji, I think no form in income tax is being submitted manually, I think.
No, no,
Right,
no,
sir.
no, no. So this is, yes, very well said, very well said. And your internal audit help you in assimilating the data for these two forms, because these two forms are the basis. Nowadays, what they are saying is that whatever your audit firms are saying, they will be
Hmm.
extracting the relevant information from there, the explanation to the relevant information that has been incorporated in your financial. There's some certain transactions are being shown, related party transaction being shown, or some disclaimers are being avoided even in auditor's report also. So these are the basis, or these are the premises from where the audit departmental auditor or any third party audit, whosoever is conducting a third party audit, they will be gathering the information. So these forms the part and partials of the financials, like your auditor's report, your forms, and or your notes to accounts. So these are the basis. And during the conduct of internal audit, you are able to assimilate the data. You are able to assimilate the ingredient for these kind of information that will be required at the end of the financial year to be assimilated, to be comprehensive, and then to be submitted, so that any person who is looking into all these aspects is able to. That means what we are doing, हम कर क्या रहे हैं, हम उसके लिए पूरे साल का लेखा जोखा इकट्ठा करके उसके बहुत सक्षम, इसको बोलते हैं सूक्ष्म रूप में उसके सामने दे रहे हैं कि भैया ये है, ये मेरा बर्ड आई व्यू है मेरे पूरे साल की किताबों का, पूरे साल के फंक्शनलिटीज का. आई हैव सीन नाउ इवन डिपार्टमेंट इज स्टार्टेड आस्किंग अपने इंटरनल ऑडिट की रिपोर्ट. In case it is a mandate requirement, they may ask you, okay, get me the internal auditor report. Why? Because in case there is some kind of gap between your internal controls, that will be highlighted in the internal audit report. So that will help them to target which areas they have to target during their audits. So this is the importance. No doubt, I mean, these are again aiding you to make the remedial aspect, or to you in taking the prevention and to correct your shortcomings, or wherever you feel that yes, additional uh, thing has to be implemented or additional controls has to be implemented.
Right.
Right, ma'am. Right. So, ma'am, regarding tax audit, एक और question arise होता है कि is there any penalty clause for tax audit also?
Yes, there is a legal provision also in case where the tax audit is mandatory. That means if a taxpayer who is required to obtain a tax audit does not get the accounts audited, then the penalty has to be levied, and that has been prescribed under section 271B of the Income Tax Act. And the penalty is for not completing the tax audit. That means that is they are penalizing you for not conducting what was required to be conducted by you, by your business. And the penalty that has been prescribed under section 271B is 0.5% of the turnover or the gross receipt, as the case may be, and subject to a maximum of 1,50,000 rupees. So that means in case it is a big organization, so still 1,50,000 is the minimum threshold that may be levied as per penalty in case there is any kind of deficiency in requirement that has to be fulfilled by way of tax.
Right, ma'am. Right, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am, for clarify this particular question. तो अभी अभी मैम नेक्स्ट चलते हैं, मूव करते हैं थोड़ा सा और इसके ऊपर. एक और बड़ी क्वेरी, जो कॉमन सी क्वेरी जो आती है मैम इसके अंदर, कि जीएसटी में ऑडिट का क्या प्रोविजन है?
सर आपने तो हम सीएस की जो इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स में प्रैक्टिस करते हैं उनकी दुखती रखते हाथ रखा है. बट मैं ऐसा नहीं कहूंगी. No doubt from this financial year onwards, they have removed the requirement of a professional to certify the reconciliation statement. Because why I'm using the word reconciliation statement? Because GST audit means a reconciliation statement that has to be given in the prescribed form, that are GSTR 9 and 9C. 9 and 9C is nothing but just the reconciliation of your books of accounts with your portal, with your data that has been incorporated by you during the complete financial year, and now everything has been collated and put forward in a complete format. So as per notification 29/2021 Central Texas, dated 30th July 2021, CBIC has notified the section 110 and 111, I'm sorry, with effect from 1st of August, that now the annual audit or the annual return has to be done only by the stakeholders or by the business person or by the authorized person from the business point of view. And there is no requirement of any professional giving the certificate of the reconciliation. That means now there is no audit. No audit means I don't have to sign. Navjot don't have to sign, I don't have to sign. But yes, the stakeholders have to sign. That means now the onus is on the businessman that whatever the data that has been given in the form of GSTR 9 and 9C, they have verified it, they are certifying it to be true and correct. So what I feel is now the requirement for getting a third party review for your books of account is more important. Why? Because there is always a rule. The checker and the maker has to be different. You cannot give lock and key to the same person when you want to safeguard something. So whosoever has done the audit, whosoever has prepared the books of accounts, whosoever has done the daily accounting, whosoever has made the data for the monthly return, your annual return, that in my humble opinion is that has to be verified, and the correctness of the same data with respect to not just the technical aspect but also with respect to the legal aspect should be conducted by a third party, by an independent professional, so that they are able to correct any mistake or any kind of deficiency in the legal point of view as in there itself, before the data is being publicized or before the data is being handed over to the public domain in the form of GSTR 9 and 9C. So this is my humble opinion that yes, now the conduct of review, I will say review because now there is no requirement of getting it done as an audit. So even the review of your books of accounts, review of your data is more mandatory. Over to you, Navjot.
एग्जैक्टली काफी जैसे मैम ने बोला कि अभी ऑडिट की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, सो इसके बाद ना काफी तरह की ऑब्जर्वेशंस थी फ्रॉम प्रोफेशनल पर्सपेक्टिव एंड फ्रॉम बिजनेस पर्सपेक्टिव. बट overall, if we see that audit requirement has been removed, I would not say that. Department still have rights, and there is a particular section in GST audit through which they can get it done from chartered accountant. So in my view, I think it will be happening more frequently. क्योंकि इससे पहले when auditor himself was signing the report, I think onus was there. He can call the auditor and he can ask him the necessary questions like whatsoever information is being filed in GST 9 and 9C. Please provide the explanation since you have signed on the report. Now, they have two options. They can call upon that particular, I would say, authorized signatory of that businessman that who have filed the GST 990 to provide the explanations. And apart from that, they have now right to conduct the audit through GST, through chartered accountant. Now, Archana ji, I have observed one thing. There is one point in this, that when we do the 990, there are particulars. But when department will be getting it done from Sienna, there are no standards for that. So I think you are on a back foot now, that they can ask any sort of reconciliation. They can ask anything, which is not even required as per 990. So now they have got more hands. So this is not something which we have lost the opportunity, but if we see in the long run, so we got, I think, more opportunities.
No. What I say is, before they appoint an auditor on you, you should
Yes,
make it audited.
exactly.
Because yesterday only one of the client was facing this departmental audit, the scrutiny, and trust me, the query, please pay attention to the query. What has been raised was, because you have shown no supply under exempted supply tab, instead of showing it as a no supply in GSTR 3B, you have shown under exempted supply. So now you should be corresponding, reversing the ITC with respect to this supply. So that means what they are trying to say is, even if there is a procedure lab in putting some figure in some of the tables that is not very easy or a very comprehensive table, but still in case you have done any mistake, So as per their understanding, it will change the nature of the transaction, which may not be correct in the longer run, but still you have instigated one thing, it will be going to the litigation. So it is not going to stop there and therein. So all these things can be taken care by an auditor beforehand so that you have the ready explanation for these things. So this is important.
Thanks, ma'am. Thanks, sir. So moving further, there is query from the market also that, as you know, so balance sheet plays a vital role for any organization, right? How the review of balance sheet can be done from the perspective of GST?
So there are certain points when we see objective of GST audit also, that how the accounting or how the I have recorded fixed or tangible assets in books of accounts, because provisions in respect with the Sanward credit. So it is slightly, I would say, different in income tax, that if you have availed the input tax credit, you will not get the benefit of uh, depreciation on the same. So how the accounting is being done of fixed asset or tangible assets is very important. Second, blocked or ineligible credits. There is a section 17(5) of CGST Act, which says that certain input tax credits will not be available to you. So purpose of GST auditor is to check that whether the assessee have availed those credits or not. If he has availed, he will have to reverse it. If he has availed and utilized, he will have to reverse along with the interest. That is also a problem. Then assets which are in the custody with third parties, how many assets and in what capacity they are kept with third party. So the proper accounting or maybe the GST treatment is being done rightly or not. Then there is a reverse charge mechanism. By that means you have to pay IGST on the import of services. When we talk about import of goods, that is certainly done through filing bill of entries and everything. But in terms of services, that thing is not there. You don't need to file bill of entries. So how those checks have been maintained in case of import of services? क्या आपने RCM में tax pay किया है, नहीं किया है? Most people don't pay. It is highlighted during the internal audit or maybe other sort of audit that they have not paid tax on that. Then disposal of assets on which input tax credit has been taken. Suppose after a certain point of time you are disposing of certain assets. So whether that ITC treatment is done rightly on that whether you have reversed or maybe that particular provision which is provided in GST for this practice is done correctly or not. Then how the accounting of inventory is there, and what you have done for goods in transit. So all these things to be seen from a GST perspective, you have done rightly or not. Maybe you have done the accounting rightly, but आपने किसी ट्रांजैक्शन पे जीएसटी लगाना चाहिए था, आपको नहीं लगाया, आपने सही तरीके से एग्जम्पशंस क्लेम नहीं किया, आपने इन्वेंट्रीज को स्टॉक को किस तरह से दिखाया. क्योंकि अगर आप इन्वेंट्रीज को दिखाते नहीं है, अनअकाउंटेड स्टॉक दिखाते हैं अपने प्रीमाइस में. So if officer is coming for inspection and if you have not accounted it, so he can put tax plus penalty on that. So they have all the rights for unaccounted inventories. Ma'am, what would be your take on that?
Yes. And yesterday only they have issued a notification where
Yes,
they've made applicable certain provisions of the Amendment Act, Finance
exactly.
Amendment by the Finance Act 2020-2021. And one of the biggest thing is amendment in section 16, insertion of double A. So now the fate of 36(4) is again questionable because it has been retrospectively amended. Now double A has been inserted. That means whatever is reflected in your 2A will only be eligible to you. That means whatever 20, 10, 5% additional leverage that we were getting has been done away with. And because at times what is happening is as Navjot you have highlighted, my assets may be at third party. Maybe my receipt of goods is also at third party, like they are being there for job work or they are being sent for the approval basis. So all these things has to be very correct. ITC and your sales side will always be having a mismatch, will always be having a question. Similarly, not just your asset side, equal importance should be given to your liability side also, because whether I have made the payment within the required timeline or no, whether the revenue has been correctly recorded or no, whether the turnover of each and every GST registration has been taken care of while conducting the audits, while assimilating the data with respect to tax audit, statutory audit, as well as your reconciliation. How you have dealt with the supplies between the related party, whether the provision of section 25 has been taken care or no, then your cross utilization, because these are the favorite questions that are always being put forward whenever there is a conduct. How you have used the common credit, how you have segregated the common credits, how the common facilities has been taken care of, then whether any transaction where there is no consideration also, but still it will be falling under the definition of supply. And again, with the retrospective amendment of section 7 under CGST Act, which has been incorporated by this amendment notification, that despite the fact that Supreme Court has said that the transaction between your member and your club are out of the ambit of supply, but now they have incorporated that also, and that too retrospective. So all these are going to be a big challenge in case your business is having some kind of impact of these transactions. Audit करते हैं या internal controls को check करते हैं. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, ma'am. I would like thank Sachna ma'am and Navjot sir for taking us through the internal audit and tax audit part. This would be very helpful for our attendees in understanding the role of audit for any organization and its effectiveness, right, ma'am? Now I will invite my colleague Deepak Tiwari. He will take us through the best practices of auditing in Teleprime. About Deepak Tiwari, he's working as a assistant general manager in Tele Solutions. Deepak has been associated with Tele for almost 5 years and having a lot of experience of Tele as a product and related domain expertise as well. Over to you, Deepak.
Thank you, Rohit. Let me share my screen first. Can you confirm my Tally screen is visible?
Yes, Deepak is visible.
Okay. Thank you, sir and ma'am. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you, everyone who are joining this session. This is a very small session on Tally. We'd like to cover the topics which will help you in doing the audits. And we are not going to tell the process of audit. We have discussed in detail. We will tell you the features which might help you while finalizing the balance sheet and while doing the internal audit and all. So let's start with the things. So the first thing which we are going to demonstrate is the save view. Now, how this save view will help you. So in Tally, we have some set of reports. Let's say if I want to see the balance sheet, I can simply go on balance sheet and I can see it. If I want to see the trial balance, I can go in display mode report and check the trial balance. And what happens? This default format, sometime it fulfills our requirement and sometime it doesn't. So what we do, we add some columns, we apply filter, and we see and we come to an outcome which will fulfill our requirement. So let's say I want to see the report with the opening balances and along with the debit and credit transaction during the financial year. So the report is coming in this format, and now this format is fulfilling my need. The problem is this approach is when we press escape, and when I come back to the trial balance again, the entire format which we have made, that's lost. Okay, so the save view will help you in this only. So by using the save view, you can save any view which you are by putting the column, filters, and everything. Whatever the modification you are doing in the report, you can save this for future references. Means next time when you will visit that particular report, when you will see that particular report, you need not to do all this effort. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So let's say I want to see the opening balances along with the transaction, and I want to see this report ledger wise. Okay, and that's it. So this is the report which I want. Okay, so now here we have given a button called Save View. This Save View button will come in each and every report. आप कोई भी report open करोगे, you will get that particular button. You will click on that. After clicking on this button, you will get first option is a name. So the first benefit of this Save View feature is you can give any personalized name for this report. So let's say detailed trial balance. Okay. Now, do I want this format to be a default format? Means anytime when I open, every time when I open this report, this should come in this format only. Okay, so if I put this option yes, this particular view which I have, which I got after doing some modification, that would be the default format. Okay. Now there are some additional configurations. The second benefit of this feature is you can save this view for a specific company, like for demo purpose, I am using this Apex Electrical. So that is up to you, whether you want to save this view for this specific company, Apex Electrical, or you want to save this view for all companies available on your computer or laptop. Okay, so on your laptop, if there is 100 clients data, then this particular view would be saved for all 100 clients. Means आपका जो effort है, that would be one-time effort, and you can utilize this particular report format in every client's data. Okay, so let's say I saved it for all companies. Save this master with the selected, save this with the selected master. So ये अभी मैं skip कर रहा हूँ. I'm skipping this option right now. We will have a separate use case for it. And if I want to save this with selected period, means whenever I open the trial balance, it should open for entire financial year. So currently it is open for April to February. So what I'll do, I'll press F2 button. I'll enter April to March. So that is open for entire financial year. Save view, detailed trial balance, default view, additional configuration. Yeah, I want to save this for all companies. Masters I am skipping right now. Now I want to save this report with the selected period. Selected period means I had opened this trial balance for entire financial year. So I want this open. I want to open this report for the entire financial year, and it should get opened by default. Okay, so I'll put it yes. Now save this view. Now what will happen? Whenever I'll open the trial balance, I'll get this view only. Okay, I need not to press F12 and putting the opening balance yes and the transaction option yes. We need not to do anything right now. Okay, so that's the one way of accessing this particular report. Another way to access that saved view is from GoTo. You can click on GoTo button, and from there you will see the list of all views which you have saved for different reports. Okay, so you will get your personalized name which you had entered while saving this particular view, for which report it was saved, and what is the applicability of this view, whether it is for this company or all companies. So whenever you will open another client's data, so we'll see this detailed TB view there also. Okay, so once you will press enter, you can access that report from GoTo also. So by doing this thing, because we have some things like the cash payment above 10,000. That's a very common filter which we apply while finalizing the balance sheet or while we're doing inspecting the data of a client. So that is the basic filters which we apply on each and every client's data. So this kind of task can be done very smoothly, and we can save much time. Okay, much time and effort. So what we can do, let's say another take the other use case that I want to filter out the payments, the cash payments for which the amount is greater than 10,000. Okay, so we need to go to the particular report. So let's say I entered into this accounts book, cash and bank book, and under cash account. Okay, and let me open it for 1 month. Okay, so that's for April month, but I want it for entire financial year. So I'll press Alt F2. I'll enter April to March. Okay, so that's a transaction for entire financial year. The cash is involved. Now I want to filter the payments where the payment is greater than 10,000. Okay, so what I'll do from here, I'll go on basis of value, because debit का कोई relevance नहीं है. There is no relevance with the debit balances. I want only to track the credit balances where the cash is being paid and amount is greater than 10,000. So what I'll do, I'll go on basis of value, and here in type of voucher entry, I'll select the credit entries only. Okay, so only credit entries would be visible on this screen. Now I want to filter this particular report, so I'll filter it from Alt F12. I'll press Alt F12 where I'll select voucher, where the ledger amount is greater than 10,000. And publish. So now my report has got filtered where the cash payment is more than 10,000. So this effort, if you see the steps which I have performed to get this report, it comes around 5 to 6 steps. And let's multiply this with the number of clients. So that number of time you have to put your effort.
Deepak, you are not audible. Deepak? I think some technical issue there. Deepak, will you please try to rejoin? And your screen is also not visible and you are not audible also.
Yeah, Rohit, am I audible now?
Yeah. Now
there was some internet issue.
Yeah, you are audible now. You are audible now.
Okay,
Please share your screen, please.
Yeah. Is my tally screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible, Deepak. Thanks.
Okay, fine. So now we can see after putting that particular filter and selecting out a credit entry from this in this cash ledger, now I can see my report which I actually wanted. So now from here I can go on the save view and I can give any personalized name here, cash pay above 10,000. Now I want to see this report as a default report, so I will put it as, or if I don't want to see this as a default report, I'll put no. Because what will happen in that case, if I access the cash ledger, it will show me the entire transaction. But अगर मैं इसको default view कर देता हूँ, if I put this particular option as yes, then whenever I'll visit annual report, see the cash ledger report, it will show me only the transaction which is above 10,000. Okay, so default disabled from here. Now I want, because this practice to be done with all clients data, so I'll put it as all company, and this time I will select this save with the master selected to open the report. Means whenever I open this report, that should be opened for cash ledger. Okay, this filter I don't want for bank or any other ledger in my company in the client's data. So this particular report is being filtered out, is being saved for this cash ledger. So what I'll do, I'll put this particular option as yes. Okay, and now what will happen? Whenever I wanted to access this particular report, I'll go on go to. I'll select cash pay above 10,000. It is saved for the ledger voucher and for all companies. Whenever I press enter, this particular one second. Financially, I haven't saved it. 1 second. Let me go to that particular report. Under the save view, yeah, I missed this particular save with the selected period. So what I'll do, I'll again go and type the financial year, and I'll press the save view, and I'll put this particular option yes, because I want to see this particular for entire financial year. So that option I missed. So I'll save, and now if I'll access this particular report from here, I'll get this report by default. Okay, so I need not to do the F12 or I need not to use the basis of value option just for the credit entries and filter to have the amount greater than 10,000. I need not to do all these things. Okay, so that will definitely save our ample time and effort. Okay, and that will definitely that will give us an ease to execute the basic task. So this was the first thing. Another thing is that how we can navigate faster in our Tally Prime. Okay, means navigation means usually we do transaction, and right from transaction we want to see any reports, and while seeing the reports we want to post a transaction. So how we can navigate faster? So let's assume we are finalizing, we are doing some adjustment entry, like adjustment entries for depreciation and other financial accounts adjustment. So let's say I access the balance sheet report. From here I entered into the fixed asset. Now I want to see whether because it is showing me the closing balance, which is definitely for fixed asset, it would be our debit side. I wanted to see that how this closing balance coming, means what are the debit balance for this financial year, what is the credit amount for this financial year. So what I'll do, I'll put this opening balance option yes and show transaction. What it will reflect, it will give me the debit and credit transaction during the financial year, during debit and credit amount during the financial year. So we can very clearly see here we do not have any credit balances over here, because and what does it mean? It means that we have not recorded the depreciation for this account. We have not recorded the depreciation for this asset. So what we'll do, right from this screen, I wanted to post the adjustment for this computer account, depreciation for this computer fixed asset. So what we can do, one practice can be, I can go to the gateway of Tally, I can go on voucher, I can select journal, and here I can debit the depreciation and all. Then again, to see the amount of to see the same report, because there are two other fixed assets out there. So what I'll do, I'll again go to the balance sheet, I'll again go to the fixed asset, and then again I will do the same practice. Okay, so it will take much time. The shorter way and the faster way to do this can be right from this screen, we can click on go to, and from go to we can have one option called create voucher. So I'll press create voucher here, and from create voucher directly I'm coming to this journal voucher, or you can select any other voucher according to your need. Okay, here I'll type the debit amount, let's say 2000, and particular asset, and I'll save it. The moment I'll save it, it will take me back to the report. This. Now you can see the immediate impact on the report is coming here. Like computer, earlier there was no credit amount. Now while after passing this depreciation figure, we can see the impact on the report. Now the plus point is, I need not to come back from the report, go into the voucher, and after passing the adjustment, again come back to the report and see the things. Now, if I want to do the same adjustment for another fixed asset, I can again go to the go to button, and I click on create voucher. I can again click record voucher and come back to this report. So by using the go to button, we can navigate fast. That is the first point in this how we can navigate faster in Tally Prime. Okay, and that all this feature which you are seeing, that that would be available with Tally Prime release. That is not available with Tally ERP. Okay, Tally Prime is a newly launched product actually. Okay, so that was the first thing. Now from one report, if I want to see another report, so let's say currently I am at this fixed asset summary. Okay, and now from here I want to see this particular stock summary report. Let's say. So what I'll do, I'll again click on go to, or you can press Alt G, which is the shortcut key for go to. So under go to, I can type any report. Okay, so that you can see the Google of reports in Tally Prime. So you need to type only the initials. Let's say I want to see the outstanding. So I'll type OUT. So wherever this outstanding text is there, that would be listed out here. Okay, so what outstanding you want to see? Do you want to see the ledger wise, group wise, bill wise? All things are there. Okay, so that we'll talk later. That what are the reports which might help us in doing our audit. Okay, so similarly, I can access any report from here. I am at the stock summary. Now from here, I want to see some Like I want to see the ratio analysis, I can come to that. Okay. So, another part is, I want to come back to the same report, I can press escape. So once I press escape, I come back to the balance sheet. And from here, if I press escape again, I'll come back to this summary. Okay, the manner I forwarded from one reported to another report, I'll come back in the same manner, in the same manner. Okay, once I'll press escape. So that's how we can navigate faster in the product. Let me take some different use cases for it. Yeah. So the another point in the save view, जो मैं चाहता हूँ बताना वो है कि in case if you have saved a view, okay, and now you want to delete that particular view. That's save view is it's not in the use, or the purpose of the save view is not there right now. So you want to delete that particular view. So what you can do, you can go in the help button. And the help button, you can go on troubleshooting, and the troubleshooting you can see if you want to delete all view, you want to delete the views for all companies, you can select this option, or you want to delete the view which was saved for this company only, you can go with this particular option. Okay, so these two options are there. One second. What is the problem?
Deepak, I think your screen is not visible now.
Yeah, 1 second. Actually, my Tally application stopped.
Yeah. If anyone having query, then they can write in chat or Q&A box.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. We'll take it up. Let me share my screen. Okay, I hope it's visible now.
Yes, it's visible, Deepak.
Okay. So I was explaining that how we can delete the save view for my company. So I can go on troubleshooting under the help button. I can go on the troubleshooting, and from the troubleshooting option, we can delete either either the save view for all companies or only for this company. Okay, so that option is there. We can delete this. Now move to the next option. How we can handle the multitasking. Okay, the first point which you covered was the save view. Another point was how we can navigate faster by using GoTo. The third thing is how we can handle the interruptions. So let's say I'm into this particular report in the balance sheet. Now interruptions are there, like I want to export a report which is different from this particular report. Let's say I'm doing the balance sheet, I'm doing some analysis and all, and between I want to see some I want to print or export or email some other report to someone. Okay, so what we can do without exiting from this particular screen, or let's say I'm at this particular voucher entry, I'm doing some adjustment, financial adjustment I'm doing, and my entry is not completed yet, but I want to export some other report. I want to email some other report to someone. I want to print some other report. So what we can do, problem is not doing all this stuff. Problem is that I don't want to exit from the screen because I haven't completed my adjustment yet. Okay, so what we'll do, so let's say I started my entry from here. Okay, and I have not completed this transaction yet. I can click on export. I want to export some report. Okay, so I'll go on export. So first option is current, which means the current screen. So I don't want to export this particular current screen. What I'll do, I'll go on other. Under other, I'll have the list of reports. If I want to see the more reports, I can click on show more, so that all reports will be listed out here. From here, I have whatever reports I want to export, I can select. Okay, so let's say I want to export this receivable, payables, and all whatever reports I want to export, I can click on that, and that particular report would be exported. I'm changing this particular format. Yeah, Rohit, you were saying something?
Yeah. So my query is over here is that if I'm doing any voucher entry, I can move to any report and take the printout. I just want to mail. I can do anything, na?
Yes. Not only print, even you can do the same with the email and the same with the printing. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, so
it would be very helpful then. Yeah.
Correct. And the moment you will press escape, you are done with your export, email, or print operation. You can press escape and come back to the same operation. Okay, and not only this, if you are doing one transaction and if you are not completed it yet, and you want to post any other transaction by keeping this transaction on hold, you can do that also. So let me show that. Currently, I have not completed this depreciation entry. Okay, but I want to let's say keep it null actually. I want to pass any other transaction, but I have not completed with this. So what will happen? I'll go on I'll click on create voucher, and let's say I enter into this appreciation 12,000. Oh, sorry, 1,20,000. Data condition equipment, and I save this transaction. Once I'll save this transaction, I'll come back to the previous one because I have not completed that. Okay, so what will happen? Look, again, I came to this one, depreciation computer, because the transaction was not completed. So this kind of interruption can be handled very easily in this Tally Prime. So exceptions can be that I am doing one transaction and I want to post another transaction. Second, I'm at transaction level, I'm doing one adjustment and I want to export, email or print any other report. Then that kind of interruption can be handled very easily in the Tally Prime. And what can be the general practice if someone is not using the Tally Prime? What he'll do, he'll come out from the transaction, he'll go into the report and export it from that and then come back to the particular. That can be one method. Another can be he can put that particular export, import and print option on hold by the time he completes the particular transaction. Okay, so वो पहले transaction complete करेंगे and then they will go to the particular task. Okay, so that is the another thing. The third thing, fourth thing can be how we can access our client's data even if we are not having Tally in our system, or we are not in the office, but we want to give some suggestion, we want to give the consultation to the audit, to the client. So what we can do, how we can do that. Okay, so we have given one option in our Tally thing, which is you can save, you can share, your client can share his reports, financial reports, whatever the reports in Tally, to you through a browser access. Okay, so let's say I'm at my house and there's one client who needs some kind of consultation, and for that particular consultation you need some reports. Okay, and without seeing that report you cannot give your opinion, you cannot give your suggestion. So how it will be accessible to you? You are not having your laptop, you are not having Tally on it. What can be the other possible way to access that report and give the opinion to that particular client? So for that, we have given one option in Tally Prime, which is access report access through browser. Okay, and on any browser you can access. If when I'm saying any browser, means it can be Chrome, Firefox, Mozilla, Opera, Safari. It can be anything, and on any device which is having internet and browser, like mobile, iPad, tablets, desktop, laptop, anything. Okay, without having Tally installed on the particular device. Okay, so how it can be configured? So for that thing, what we'll do under the F11, we will do one activation, which is this one. Enable browser access for report. We will put this particular option as yes. And after that, what we'll do, we'll go in users and password. Under company tab, we'll go on user and password. And from here, I'll create one user. So definitely in your client's data, you will have one login for you, which should be Tally.net account. Either it can be auditor, owner or user. Okay, definitely in your case it would be Tally.net auditor, so that you can have all the reports which is required for auditor to finalize the things. So in this case I have selected Tally.net owner. So I entered my mail ID, which is definitely a Gmail ID, or it can be any other mail domain thing. Okay, so I entered this dt91188@gmail.com. 1 second. I don't know what's the problem with it.
So Deepak, we can access from our mobile also. If I am having the browser like Chrome in our mobile, even from there I can access the reports.
Correct. The only things you need is a device on which you need an internet connection or a browser.
And it would be very helpful. Yeah. Thanks, Deepak.
Yeah. So I entered my mail ID. Okay. What are the mail IDs there? I entered that. And after that, I put this particular option here, which is allow browser access. Means I want to give my my acceptance. I want to give my acceptance to the browser access report on this particular ID. Okay, so I put this particular thing as yes, and I saved it. Okay, so these operation can be done at client side. Okay, and after that, what client will do? He'll go on company. He'll click on connect, because he needs to connect this particular company with our server. Okay. Once the company is connected, it will show this small icon which denotes that your company is now connected. And to access this particular report on browser, what I'll do, I'll open the browser. I'll go on Tally Solutions website. I'll go on login. So I'm logging it out to show you the entire process.
Deepak, only Tally visible.
Okay. Yeah, one second. I think that screen was not shared. I'll share it. Let me share my entire screen. I think that will solve. Okay, now it is visible.
Yeah, it's visible. So we have to go to tallysolution.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Tally's process was clear. I think last action I did was to connect the company.
Yes,
Was it clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now after that, what I did, I opened a browser. In my case, I am using Chrome, and from that browser, I accessed tallysolutions.com. Now after opening this tallysolutions.com, I clicked on login button. And here I entered my credential. And how we'll get this credential? That is, for that you need to create a .NET account. Definitely, you need not to worry about that. Anytime you can reach out to us, we will help you in getting that. You will once you get the email ID and the login ID password, you click on login. And you can see my email ID is there because I have multiple IDs on which my account is being used as a .NET user. So I will access my ID. And you can see the Apex Electrical company showing here, which is connected. So let's say I'm a chartered accountant. So I can have the list of companies for my clients, whosoever is providing me the browser access for viewing the report for his data. Okay, so you can see the Apex Electrical is there, and that is connected. The company is connected, and that's why this particular company is showing here. Okay. There are a few other companies which are offline, means right at that time, this time these companies are not connected to the internet. These companies are connected to the server. So that's why these companies are showing offline. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll click on Apex Electrical. It will show me the entire reports on my browser only. Okay, so let's say I want to see the balance sheet. I click on it. Okay, this balance sheet is coming here. Another part, another beautiful feature about this report is that's a mobile friendly also. These reports are very mobile friendly also, means once you rotate your phone for portrait to landscape and landscape to portrait, that will be displayed accordingly. Okay, that's more of dynamic thing, you can say. From here you can set the date period for which you want to see the report. Okay, so I want to see this report for entire financial year. I can set this financial year date period here. Okay, another thing, you can export this or you can save this particular report in two formats. One is in Excel, another is in PDF. So you want to save this particular report as Excel, you can click on Excel. That will be downloaded to your device, and you can save this particular report as a PDF also. So this feature is there. The another part is that why we are saying that is very secure method of accessing the reports, because this format or this medium, this browser medium, can only give you the access to reports. You cannot make any entries to it. Okay, that's why we are saying that's a very secure thing. No one, because that's a one, being a chartered accountant, we have one stakeholder to this data, client's data. There might be other stakeholders also, which might require this browser access. So just to keep it secure and safe, we have not provided the data entry thing from this medium. Okay. So that is the fourth thing. The last thing which I one second. Let's change report thing. Okay, the last thing which I would like to explain here, that there are when we connect with the chartered accountants and accounting professionals, and we ask them to come to our latest release, because definitely this is only the glimpse which I have shown you in this session. There are more functions, more beautiful features which can help you, which will definitely help you and help you in easing out the process of audit and other financial and other accounting thing. But the only thing which we, the only friction in the market which we are facing right now is that we have deadlines for the audit and all. We don't want to switch it to any other product. But believe me, every day we are migrating our customer and chartered accountants to the newer release. And to ease out the migration process, we have given one facility to all our users, that we know that change is not easy whenever especially in the case when we are talking about migrating from one accounting software to upgraded version of the same accounting software. So first thing, that most of the things in Tally Prime is similar to the Tally ERP9, only the location of the option and the user interface has got changed and got upgraded. कोई भी चीज ये सोचना कि that वो चीज हटा दी गई है and that has been introduced, that is a new only the new thing has been introduced, nothing old has been removed. कोई भी पुराना चीज remove नहीं किया गया है, only the new things has been introduced, and the improvised version, you can say the improvised version of Tally ERP is Tally Prime. Another benefit which we are giving, that if you are not comfortable in migrating from Tally ERP to Tally Prime completely means maybe आपके कुछ clients होंगे जो Tally ERP का data आपको भेज रहे होंगे, and there would be some clients which will be sending you Tally Prime's data. So how will you cater to them? How will you give your services to them? So that's the question generally हमें एक सुनने को मिलता है, that is the question which we got from the market. So for that, we have given one flexibility to our accounting professional, our chartered accountant, that you can use Tally Prime and Tally ERP9 both on the same license number. So if you have some clients which are sending you data of the Tally Prime from Tally Prime, and few are sending you data from Tally ERP, you can cater to both clients. There's no need to ask the customers, don't go to the Tally Prime because I am having the Tally ERP, or the condition can be vice versa. Okay, so that's the facility which we are providing right now, because we know the changes takes time. Okay, and definitely this particular release, the Tally Prime, will definitely help you in doing their day-to-day work, and that's the thing. Rohit, anything else if you want to add?
Yeah, Deepak, you have explained all the things regarding Tally Prime. So it will be very helpful for our customer and our GSTP also to manage their customer accounts and their self-accounting also, right? So I think it's okay to move on, and we are open for the question answer. If anyone having any query, then they can write in chat box. I think there are some queries. First query is, Deepak, how to do two-way reconciliation with ITC available as per books?
Okay. Currently in Tally Prime, you can do a reconciliation by downloading the JSON file, the ITC file जो generate होता है portal से. You can download it from portal and import in Tally Prime. There is one report called GSTR2A where you can load the JSON file which you have downloaded from the portal, and you can see the reconciliation statement. But if use, definitely most of the users are asking it to have on real-time basis, means directly from the portal. So that functionality is not available as of now, and we are looking into it, and we would and there, in the next financial year we will have a complete GST revamp in our product, and definitely in that we can look into it.
Right. Thanks, Deepak. Second question is regarding this Tally. This is regarding someone is asking, Chirag ji asking that please explain tally.net.
So tally.net is nothing but your ID on which you have bought a Tally license. If you have a Tally license, that particular email ID is tally.net account. And the tally.net username is your mail ID, and password is the password which you generally used for surrendering and reactivating the license. That's it.
I think there is again same question, which means one should have tally.net account to view through browser. I think, sir, this question is also clear, because if you are having the Tally, then you can access your reports, right?
Yeah, even if you don't have Tally, it is only 2-3 minutes job. Okay, if you need, Rohit or anyone can share the contact number, they can directly connect to us. We will help them in creating the .NET account. It's only 2-3 minutes job.
Yeah, you can sir share your contact number. We can contact you. We will reach you and we'll explain how you can create the TallyNet ID in your Tally only. And the next question, Deepak, again from Tally. This is, sir, how to delete the reports. I think you have shown the reports now. We have saved some reports. Then how can we delete these reports?
Okay. Let me show it again once again. So let's say I saved the view called cash pay about 10K and detailed TV. So there might be two requirements. First, I want to delete all the views which I have saved. So for that, what I'll do, I'll go on help button. Okay, there I have help button. Under troubleshooting, I have an option to delete all the saved views for this company or all companies. Okay, but I want to delete a specific view. Let's say there are two saved views. One is the detailed TV and other one is the cash pay about 10,000. So I want to delete this detailed TV. So what I'll do, I'll go on detailed TV. I'll access this particular view. And from here, I'll go on change view. And under change view, I have delete saved view. Under delete saved view, I'll get this particular one, this detailed TV option. And once I'll press enter, it will ask me, do you want to delete it or not? I'll say, yes, I want to delete this. So what will happen? This particular view, detailed TV, has got deleted. Now, if I press Alt G or I access the go to button, I'll not see this detailed TV because I have deleted. Okay. And if I want to delete all the views which I have saved, so for that, you can access it from F1, troubleshooting, delete view saved for all companies or delete view saved for this company. That will delete. This will delete all the views which have saved for this company or all companies.
Deepak, next question is how to change accounts in Tally ERP9 to Tally Prime. Deepak, you are on mute.
Yeah. So there's a very simple process. If you have your data, let's say I have a company which is currently being operated on Tally ERP9. I want to migrate it from Tally ERP to Tally Prime. It's only 2-minute job. Whenever you will open this particular company, let me open the Tally Prime again. Once again, I will show you the entire process how to migrate. It's only 1 or 2-minute job. One second. How we'll know that particular data should be the particular data was on Tally ERP and now I want to migrate it from Tally ERP to Tally Prime. So that hint would be there in product. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so now you can see in the list of company, you can see there are 2 companies which is showing migration required. Is it visible?
Yes, visible, Deepak.
Okay, the migration required means this particular company was earlier being operated on the lower version of Tally, like it was being operated or it was opened on the Tally ERP9. That's why this when you are trying to open this particular company on Tally Prime, it is giving you a hint called migration required. So migration required means I want to migrate this particular company. So how will I migrate this company? So for that, I'll press Control Alt R, okay, which is for repair company. And I'll select this particular company. Let's say there's a migration required of the company. So I can select this particular company by pressing Control Alt R. Now it will ask me, do you want to repair this company? Yes, I want to repair. And definitely this will take a backup. Okay, so backup destination is C drive. And it's always recommended to have a backup whenever you are migrating a data. Okay, so in case any unfavorable condition, if anything happens, you have a backup. Okay, definitely the chances are very less, but as ma'am said, prevention is always better than cure. Okay, so इसको हम repair करेंगे. We will repair that particular report. Okay, you don't write. Achha, okay, that's what I've selected the C drive. It's not allowing me. I'll change the backup destination. I select the D drive. Okay, and I'll repair that. Okay, so now this particular demo file, which I had opened 1009, that is completed. Okay, now I can open this data, and the same as in the same method, I can go with this Narayan Swadeshi Banta. This I can, I can repair this company here. And according to the data size. Okay, so okay, the C drive is not working. 1 second, let me change this particular path. C drive is generally a protected drive because we have system related in files and information in there.
So Deepak, the data is basically open. When we will open this data, it will open in Teleprime only, na?
Yes, yes. Once you are done with the rewriting process, it will show you that particular thing that migration is required. And if it is showing the migration required, you need not to you need to do the this rewriting thing, Control-Alt-R. By pressing Control-Alt-R, you will select this particular company, and it will ask you to take the backup, which we definitely say that whenever you migrate the data, client's data, you need to have a backup of it. You take the backup, and next time when you open the company, that company will directly be opened in Teleprime.
So next question, the new feature in Teleprime and launch date.
So Teleprime is already in the market. Okay, you can go to the website, you can download the setup, and the latest release is Teleprime 2.0.1. Okay, you can update it too.
One should have valid TSS for the same.
Yes, if you have a valid TSS, then definitely you can migrate to Teleprime free of cost. You need not to pay anything.
One more question from the one of my our attendees, that direct migration possible, then why we will press Control plus Alt plus R?
There are two ways, sir. जिनको थोड़ा पुरानी process पता है वो Control-Alt-R करते हैं because the rewrite process was there. So they can press Control-Alt-R also, and you can, once you press the enter, you can take the you can do the migration along with the backup process. The both processes are there.
So next question.
Because Control-Alt-R is a key which everyone knows, right? Because in Tally ERP9, once you want to rewrite the data file, we used to press Control-Alt-R. So that's why I took from there.
Right. Thanks, Deepak. Thanks. Next question is from Anuradha ji. Also, migration can be done from Prime to ERP?
Ma'am, it is not recommended actually. It is not recommended. That can be done in the case where we have no choice. You know, then we can degrade from Prime to ERP, but it is not recommended.
So last is from Chirag ji. He is asking, please contact me for Tally. Chirag ji, please share your number so that we can contact you. So I think there are no more questions. So it's time to wind up the event.
Yeah, you have one more very valid question. Can you provide discount? So you can connect to Sir Rajdeep sir, and please. Okay.
Right. Thanks, Deepak.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Deepak. Thanks, Deepak. One more thing. Actually, we just keep on doing such session in future also on different topics. अगर आपका कुछ feedback है, if you want some particular topic on which you want session, then you can share with us. We can plan accordingly also. In the last, I just want to, I would like to thanks again our speakers, Ashna ma'am and Amjad sir, for taking us through internal audit topic in such a nice way and helping us to understand this topic. I would also like to thank Deepak for taking us through the best practices of auditing in Teleprime. Last but not least, my colleague, I just want to thank Gyanendra for his effort in arranging this session and just doing all the things. Thanks, Gyanendra, and thanks everyone for joining the session.